Hey there, everyone. I'm Samuel Johnson, and it's dark out. I have no way of actually doing a proper intro to that, but I might as well just point that out. Yeah, it's dark out, so yeah, that's the thing. Anyway, for those of you who don't know who I am a Z-grade YouTuber who, for the last 3 years, has been doing a series of vlogs on TV shows and franchises that I grew up with every Friday. In the beginning, in the beginning, the first show that I looked at was the classic Ben 10 series, followed by Ben 10 Alien Force. My thoughts on them were as follows: classic Ben 10 is silly and kind of dumb, but it has a charm to it, It's got good writing, the characters are well rounded, it had good humor, great action, and it just all around was just a fun show. I thought it was just a really fun show. Ben 10 Alien Force, well, I think losing a bit of the creative factor and fun that the first series had, it made up for it with having some more compelling, with having more serious stories, a lot more in-depth characterization, and actually having the characters grow as part of the setting. It did lose some points with me in season 3 when it regressed Ben's character a bit and kind of made him more unbearable. But it was still, but it was, but I still think that but I didn't think, but it wasn't enough to ruin the show for me. And on the end, I thought Alien Force was good. After that, I moved on to other franchises. After that, as the next vlog series that I looked at was Danny Phantom, which, while I found to be kind of in a similar vein to Ben 10, silly and kind of dumb, but overall enjoyable, I still ultimately found Ben 10 to be the better of the two, as I felt like Ben 10 had just had a bit more structure, where Danny Phantom could be a bit too silly at times. And it didn't help that season 3 of Danny Phantom just was at best, for me. But then after that, I decided to kind of change things up, and instead of looking at another TV show, I opted instead to look at a film franchise, specifically the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I, honest to God, kind of regret doing it because those vlogs were a bit more than I was used to. The films were longer, and that reflected in the vlogs, as most vlogs would go for an hour, some two, some going for 2 hours. It was just a very extensive and a lot more than I was used to doing. With that being said, though, I did still enjoy doing it. It has allowed me to revisit all these films throughout that were released throughout the last decade, and I still thought they were a lot, and it was still a lot of fun to do. Just rewatching all these films and seeing how far they came from just a simple film about a man with a metal suit to this giant event of a movie that people keep rallying behind and are still thrilled to watch, to the point where that movie is now the highest grossing film of all time at the time of this recording. But here's the thing. Before I was gonna do those vlogs, I was planning on looking at another cartoon series that I grew up with as a kid. Before I finished the Phantom Perspectives, the title of the vlog that I looked at Danny Phantom in. I managed to get my MCU collection up to date, and so I decided I'd look at that next. But with that being said, I didn't cancel the next vlog series that I was going to look at. Instead, I decided to just push it back to when I was eventually caught up on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And so, with that said, what series was that? Well, you clicked on the video, so you already know it. It's Code Lyoko. Now, Code Lyoko is kind of a strange little beast when it comes to a nostalgic television show. Mostly because Code Lyoko is kind of fallen a little bit into obscurity. I'm not like there are still people that are aware of it, and there was even an online petition that I even signed once to get it on Amazon Prime, but but to my knowledge, it never got a full DVD release. I think full DVD releases, and while there were DVD releases, they were kind of minimal. And even if you go online nowadays, if you go online nowadays, I think only the first DVD is affordable. All the rest are like over like $50 or $100. No, thank you. But not many people talk about Code Lyoko. It was a show that I did remember watching when I was a kid. It wasn't a show that I followed as religiously as, say, Ben 10 or Danny Phantom, but it was a show that I was interested in. It was on Cartoon Network for a time, and I looked at this and I thought, I like this. It's not that bad. But what's the story behind it? Well, Code Lyoko is a French animated show that follows this group of kids who discover a supercomputer underneath an old factory. The supercomputer in the supercomputer kind of acts as a gateway to a virtual world called Lyoko. That's how, where that holds these four different environments, five later, and then technically a sixth, but that's a very big technically. And within Lyoko, there were two beings. One was a pink-haired girl named Aelita, who actually lived in Lyoko and doesn't really have many memories any memories of life beyond it. However, the second inhabitant is actually the ruler of Lyoko and the main antagonist for the series, a virus named Xana. Xana, Xana, like most villains, has aspirations to rule the world, but the problem is that Xana is kind of limited to Lyoko. As while Xana does rule the place and can affect Lyoko in certain ways, like creating these monsters that can go around, Xana's effects are limited for the most part. Scattered throughout the various regions of Lyoko are these towers that, if Xana activates, allow him to essentially interact with the real world. And through that interaction, he's able to do something, corrupt something, twist something, take control of it. Pretty much just cause a sort of mayhem in the real world that would result in a lot of people dying. As such, the only way to undo whatever Xana does is to go to for Aelita to go to whatever tower Xana activated, input the Code Lyoko and shut it down. There's just one problem though. Aelita doesn't really have that much in the way of offensive abilities, and like I said, Xana has his own set of monsters that he likes to send out and try to take it that he likes to send out, and unfortunately, Aelita can't really do much to fight them off herself. That's where these kids come in. You see, people in the real world can actually enter Lyoko through these scanners that are located in like another room. Through accessing the supercomputer, these kids can actually transport to Lyoko, and while in Lyoko, they wind up gaining a number of extra abilities that one would typically associate with video game characters. As such, their job is that whenever Xana causes problems, they have to go to Lyoko, pretty much act as the guides for Aelita, and ensure that she manages to get to the tower, and pretty much fend off any monsters that try to stop them from getting to the towers and deactivate them. Deactivate them before Xana causes too much problems. At which point, once they're deactivated, there's a protocol in the computer that pretty much hits the reset button, quite literally. As once they do it, time is reversed to before all the bad crap happened, and so everything is saved and everyone's good and everything's good. As such, the continuing trend throughout the series was just trying to kind of keep Xana in place, but as the series went on, it did start revolving around mysteries, like around certain plot points, like getting Aelita out of Lyoko, the mystery surrounding her past, Xana getting more powerful. It was a very interesting run, and as a kid, I did remember enjoying Lyoko. It was really fun, and it was just very interesting. But like I said, it did kind of fall into obscurity for a while, and for many years, I kind of sort of forgot about it until one day, while scouring YouTube, I happened to find a video that was a full episode of Lyoko, uncut. I wound up following it, and it led me to an official English YouTube channel for Code Lyoko managed to have all the episodes of the series uploaded. And so I looked at that and I thought, well, why don't I make that my next vlog? And as such, yeah, that's exactly what I decided to do. Now, of course, I'm not going to be using that YouTube channel for the videos, and if you have been following my vlogs, then you are aware that I like to have DVDs for my. Then you are aware that I kind of hinted here and there that I like to have DVDs for when I watch shows. Well, Code Lyoko is going to be the exception, mostly because one, they never got full season DVD releases in America. And two, even if I want to buy the DVDs, I do not have that much money to buy them. So, no, thank you. I'm gonna be looking at them instead through Amazon Prime. They have all 4 seasons available on there, and so I'm gonna be watching them. And so, like with my other vlogs, I'm gonna sit down Every Friday, I'm gonna sit down and watch one episode a night, and then record my thoughts in a hopefully shorter vlog than my last series of vlogs. Also, I'm gonna be looking at the episodes in the U.S. air order, or at least I'm gonna try to. The reason I'm doing this is, and that's mostly just because, well, I I watched the U.S. release. I'm not going to be and as an extension of that, I'm not going to be looking. I am going to be looking at the English dub. I don't speak French. I don't have no interest in reading the English subtitles. I'm going to be watching the English version. So if there's a problem or whatever, so if there's ever a problem or whatever, so if there's a problem with the dubbing or so forth, it's not my problem. And with that in mind, and finally, because of this, I'm also not going to be looking at the pilot that was only released in France. I'm looking strictly at what we got here, what was released internationally. I'm going to be looking at each episode, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts and critiques on that. And with that in mind, since I am looking at them in the USA order date, that also means I'm not going to be looking at the Birth of Xana two-parter. I am aware that it is a prequel to the series that actually does explain how the kids discovered Lyoko and what woke Xana up after all this time, but I'm not. I'm gonna save that till like after season 2. But I'm gonna save that till after season 2. Then I know it will explain some things, but till then, and I'm just gonna be looking at the episodes as what they are in the order and how they were aired. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Then, if you're a new viewer, well, I hope you enjoy these things, and if you're a return viewer, I hope you continue to join me as for the next, I'm guessing maybe 2 years, because this is a long show. We venture into the world of slight obscurity as we decide to take a look as we go on forth into the Lyoko retrospectives.